As a new entrepreneur, your first service ever will not be perfect. You will have to test it on your ideal client so that you can get feedback and improve it as you go. Of course, you don't want to be too pushy or salesy, but you need actual clients in order to dive in and test your first service. And you might wonder, how do you proceed when it is your very first time? And you might still have this imposter syndrome. Since it is your first service, you want to make sure that this service is what your ideal client needs right now and that they get actual results. So you will have to test drive it first. And in this episode, I will share with you 7 tips to help you test your first service and then sell it. So if you are interested, keep watching. Hi, and welcome to this new episode of Her Online Business Podcast, the podcast for ambitious expat girl bosses and digital nomads. I am Adama, your host, and my mission is to help you build a business that serves your life and not the other way around, have more freedom, work smarter while making a positive impact. And before we dive into today's topic, I want to tell you that you can still access the replay of my Masterclass, where I give you the 5 keys to build a social tribe that knows, likes, and trusts you while living abroad. There's also a workbook included so that you can take action right now, so make sure to click on the link in the description of this episode to get access to the replay. Alright, so tip number 1 to sell your first service online ever is to start with what you know. This will make your life much easier. To sell your first service online, start with a skill that you already have and that you can turn into a service. You will find people who are willing to pay someone else to do something that they don't feel comfortable doing or that is too time consuming for them. So that's where you can find your zone of genius. Instead of starting from scratch, offering a skill that you already have will give you the confidence that you need to sell your first service. Now you may ask, but how do I know that I'm good at it? Well, a simple way to do that is to ask your entourage. So do people come to you for a specific thing that you know how to do? And so they ask you to help them regarding a specific topic. And also look at the skills that you acquired during your studies, during your professional experiences, and your current job. If you have been told that you are good at it, or if you got certifications and degrees, then chances are you are good at it. So don't hesitate to think about transferable skills, which are the skills that you acquired and applied during your career. This will give you even more credibility because you already used that skill in a professional environment. For instance, even though when I started as a marketing consultant, I never had clients for myself, I was already a marketing consultant and business developer in my previous jobs. So what I did is that I took the skills and the knowledge I acquired in my previous working experiences, and then I applied them to my one-woman business. So when a potential client asks you about previous experiences, you can showcase some results that you got before having your own clients. It is very reassuring for people who don't know you at all, and it helps building trust, which is the ultimate thing you need to seal the deal. Tip number 3, keep learning and improving your skills. You never want to wait until your skills are outdated, especially in the world of entrepreneurship, which can be quite competitive. So find a way to improve and enhance your current skills in order to position yourself as an expert in your field. There are plenty of resources online, paid and free ones, to help you do that, but in order to avoid the overwhelm, here is my advice. First, focus on one skill at a time. Don't try to be in all places at once. You will see that you will become better when you put your energy into one specific area at a time. It is also easier for your ideal client to identify what you do and how you can help them. My second advice is to invest in yourself via a course or a coaching program, which is what I did as soon as I started my online business, because you can only go so far with free resources that you collected here and there on the internet. Even if you do that at the beginning, you will realize at some point that there is a real added value in paying for a system that will help you save months, if not years, of trying to figure out everything by yourself. And lastly, implement right away. The thing with your skills is that if you don't practice them, it doesn't matter if you got certifications and degrees and all that jazz. If you don't practice, you're gonna forget. As one says, you have to strike while the iron is still hot, which also means that you have to test what you have just learned with new clients. You could, for example, offer a new service in exchange for a testimonial. Remember that social proof in the format of testimonials and portfolios are a great way to set you apart from the crowd and gain more visibility and credibility at the same time. Tip number 3 to sell your first service online is to offer a trial period. This can both reassure you and your client. And I would recommend a 1 week to 14-day trial period maximum, depending on the service that you are offering. It will release some of the pressure of getting results off of your shoulders. Besides, it could turn into a long-term partnership when everything goes well, and that's how you can get your first paying client ever. So this is something you might look into at the very beginning of your entrepreneurial journey. I recommend you to do that as a beginner and only for 1 to 2 clients maximum. And then once you are sure about the results that you can help your clients getting, you can charge accordingly and confidently. Tip number 4. Offer a money-back guarantee. This is optional, but a money-back guarantee is usually used for online courses and coaching programs. The reason why you would use a money-back guarantee is that the investment required from your client is quite important, and there is an actual transformation promised at the end of the program. So they can get a taste of it and try your system, and if within a predefined period of time they don't get the results that they wanted, they can ask for a refund. When done correctly, a money-back guarantee can help you uplift one of the most common objections that you will get from potential clients, which is, I cannot afford it. Tip number 5, ask within your current network. People often forget the power of having a network. And your network starts with your family, then it extends to your friends, acquaintances, and to your working environment. So your current network is much larger than what you think. You are just not exploiting it. So when you are just starting out, do not hesitate to email your contacts and post on social media that you are looking for clients to test your first service. People who already know you or who got referred to you are more likely to trust you and help you out. So that's why if you don't feel comfortable to talk to strangers at first, you should start spreading the word around your services and your new business. Tip number 6, speak to your ideal client daily. Of course, at some point you will have to go directly out there and speak to your ideal client directly. Because one mistake I don't want you to make is to try to work and speak to everybody. Your ideal client is the person who needs you the most and that you know you will absolutely love working with them. But in the end, you are the entrepreneur, so it is your responsibility to reach out to them. To do so, you need to put your content in front of your ideal client. And if you don't know how to do that, I will link my video where I give you the 3 steps you need to take before you even start creating content, and this will give you a lot of guidance. So you will find the link also in the description of this episode. So the first step for you will be to build your brand awareness, because if your ideal client doesn't know that you exist, they won't even think about hiring you. This is where your social media and content strategy will prove to be very useful. So before even having an actual audience, start creating content that you know will appeal to your ideal client. That way, when the time comes, they will know exactly who you are, what do you do, and why they should work with you. Finally, my last tip for you to sell your first service online might sound like common sense, but you have to have a sales page or a payment method ready. It would be too bad to have gone through all the previous steps and lose a sale just because you had no idea how to effectively get paid. Because when you think about it, as a consumer yourself, if you are interested in buying something online, but the buying process is weird or too complicated and you don't feel safe sharing your personal bank information, you will never go through the buying process. And that's one thing we want to avoid, right? So a simple thing you can do is to create right now a business account on Stripe or PayPal, and it is free. They will only charge you a fee when you get the payment. Then if you are a little bit more advanced, you can create a sales page. This could be a standalone landing page or directly on your website if you have one. And there are a lot of tools online that allow you to have your own payment method ready to use without learning about coding or web design. And if you don't know how to build a sales page yet, then at least make sure to write your company policies, terms, and conditions. This is very, very important because it will protect you from abusive clients or people who are just disappointed in your services. So you have to make sure that you are protected legally in most cases and make it accessible for your clients to read the terms or to download them as a PDF. That way, your client will make an informed decision while buying your services and you will avoid a lot of potential drama. That's it for today's episode. I hope you found it useful and that it will help you finally sell your first service online and getting paid while doing what you truly love. Tell me in the comments what was your takeaway from this episode. I'm curious to know if you already knew about these tips. And if you have any other tips that you want to share, feel free to do it in the comment section. That way we can all learn from each other. As always, if you liked this episode and want me to do more of this, you can let me know by liking, sharing, and subscribing to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any updates. And make sure to hit the notification bell. And if you are ready to dive deeper, then you can watch the replay of my previous masterclass, which is 5 keys to build a social tribe that knows, likes, and trusts you while living abroad. And the link is in the description of this episode. I really enjoyed recording this for you, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye bye.